Welcome to Hanford. Today I'm going to talk to you about the choice of an appropriate phenomenological research method that is congruent with the underlying philosophical tenets of either Husserl's descriptive or Heidegger's interpretive phenomenology, vital to the credibility of the proposed research. Are you, the researcher, asking for description or interpretation? Do you believe that your preconceived notions should be kept in check or embraced in the breadth of the analysis of the subject under study? So I'm just going to take a few minutes today to talk about the difference between descriptive and the hermeneutic and the blend that is adopted by Max van Manen, which is a feature of our first conference in June. As a point of introduction then, phenomenologists are interested in how an individual's consciousness perceives their description or interpretation of an object or an event. Husserl, phenomenology's founding father, is interested in determining the essential or core or invariant structures or features of a phenomenon. Known as descriptive phenomenology, it's used when the researcher wants to describe the phenomenon under study and brackets their biases out. The Koleasi method is one example of a descriptive phenomenological analysis, as is Georgi. The key focus is on describing the invariant structures of what it's like to experience a phenomena. They would be not interested to situate the phenomena in a context, local or broader. They would have to be bracketed out. So enter Heidegger, Husserl's own student who took the hermeneutic turn, moved beyond the description or core concept of an experience to seek the meanings that are embedded in everyday occurrences. So focusing on being, interpreting phenomena as they are consciously experienced. This type of interpretive phenomenology is used when the research question asks for the meaning of the phenomenon and the researcher doesn't want to bracket their biases or prior engagement with the question under study. This, for example, is quite common in nursing and in educational contexts. Heidegger rejected the idea of Husserl's epoche, which is the phenomenological reduction, the belief that suspending judgments is not possible. Bracketing is not warranted because hermeneutics presumes prior understanding. Van Manen, also an interpretive approach, draws from both Husserl and Heidegger, committing to thoughtfulness, pedagogy and the poetic, and packed with a wondering, contemplative tone. He commits to Husserl's call to turn to the things themselves, yet adopts a hermeneutic lens, focusing on the description of the experiential meaning as we live them. He looks to bring into nearness that which tends to be obscured or covered over, noticing that which we take for granted in the everydayness. And like Husserl or through Georgi's method, he's open for us to draw on whatever ideas or literature that we're drawn to or helps. Researchers adopting this approach have far more freedom to explore context, engage with their interpretations. So the focus is not on the invariant structures, but on the themes that animate the phenomenon and evoke understanding for the reader. He makes use of the epoche and the various reductions in the following way. So analysis proceeds with a couplet of the reduction and the epoche, which is a phenomenological movement configured by these two opposing moves or gestures. First, there is the brushing away, the suspension of judgments, beliefs and assumptions, and the suspending of what we call the natural day-to-day attitude. But rather than purely bracket them, as was declared by Husserl, researchers instead acknowledge the assumptions and the prepositions that persistently creep naturally into their reflections. So it's a reflexive approach. The philosophically underpinned methods of the reduction requires a complex reflective attentiveness. This entails the stripping away of theories and scientific conceptions and thematizations which overlay the phenomena. There are a number of ways to approach this. Van Manen has a book with lots and lots of different reductions that are listed in it with lots of detailed examples. You've got the imaginative variation is, for example, where you can approach the phenomenon from divergent perspectives, different positions, roles or functions. And this works to strip away theories and scientific conceptions and thematizations which overlay the phenomenon. So to summarise then, the epoche is the suspension of the natural attitude, so you become more phenomenologically orientated, whereas the reduction then is the turn to the phenomenological attitude, the wonder in the face of the world, a process of drawing nearer to the phenomenon. The philological method of writing that follows itself then is an act of reflection, to show and make visible all that which constitutes the essence of the phenomenon which is being studied. So it's not just about the description and analysis of the phenomenon under investigation, but a means to evoke an immediate understanding of the most meaningful, essential points of the phenomena to the readers. So please join us at the Hanford conference in June if you want to learn more, and we will be kick-starting with Professor Cathy Adams, who has worked under the direct guidance of Max van Manen herself as an example